Hi everyone, it's Olivia. Happy New Year! So I thought for this video that we would kickstart 2019 by doing some zine planning together. Now this video is not a Rizo specific video, but I will, in the course of working on the zines that we're going to be planning out today, be printing them in Rizo eventually. So the whole point of this video is to lay out a framework or system that will hopefully be of use to you, at least in part, in planning out some zine projects that you'd like to work on this year. So maybe you'd like to table at a zine fair, or maybe you'd like to attend a zine fair or an arts or crafts show for the first time just to check it out. Or maybe if there isn't one in your area, maybe you'd like to put together your own zine fair. I know when I was in art school, some friends and I put together the first ever zine fair at the college, and it's actually still going on to this day at the school library. So zines don't have to be anything too complicated. They can be anything you want them to be. But I tend to get busy and end up pushing personal projects to the back. So I'll sign up to table at a zine fair or a convention and end up with less than I had hoped. And I'm not really good at coming up with things last minute, so I kind of need this. Alright, so very briefly, let me just list the 4 steps that we're going to be going through. The first is brainstorming specific zine ideas. The second is to combine these ideas to come up with new ones or to come up with interesting spins on the specific ideas from number 1. Number 3, which is optional, is we are going to research one zine fair or convention that we would like to attend this year, 2019, and we are going to comment in the comment section below the details of that zine fair. So we're going to include the following information. The first is the name of the zine fair, the city, state, or province, and country, as well as the location. So for me, it's going to be CanZine Toronto. It's held in Toronto, Ontario, Canada at the Art Gallery of Ontario. The second is the date of the zine fair. So I know this year it's going to be September 14, 2019 from 12 to 7 p.m. The third is the estimated around when our signups, and that's usually in mid-August. And the fourth is the cost to table at this zine fair. Last year it was $25 for a 3-foot space, which is about half a table. And if you have tabled at this particular zine fair before, please feel free to include a useful note. So for me, for CanZine Toronto, I know that there's known issues when online registration opens up. So just keep trying and don't give up. Step 4 is we are going to start. So we're going to be doing check-ins in the coming months, but our first zine project, I'm going to let you know right now, is going to be a one-sheet zine, which is a very small zine that looks like this, and it is literally made of one sheet of paper that has been folded to make into an 8-page zine. So for this one sheet zine project, I would pick something from your list that would look good in this small format, and definitely something not too lengthy as it is only 8 pages. So you may need to do some editing, and I'm definitely going to show you some more examples towards the end of this video. And so at our next check-in sometime next month, we are going to be making this type of zine together. So I definitely recommend doing some research, some editing, and also some initial drafts and sketches. And for me, for this zine project, I'm going to be doing it traditionally, and then we are actually going to be using the photocopy top platen functionality of the Rizo, which we don't really get to see quite often, but it's quite fun. It's very unpredictable, and it's just a different way of working with the Rizo. Alright, so for step 1, which is the brainstorming stage, we are just going to make a list of all the different subject matters that we might like to make a zine about. We are aiming for about 50 topics. This is just an arbitrary number, and you can do fewer or you could do more. But I'll put in the description section below some categories that my friend Bina and I compiled that zines can fall under. We actually started with a list of general subjects you'd find at the local library, and then we also considered zines we've seen around. If you have a broad interest, for example, animals, you can start listing specific classifications or species or even animals. For example, I really enjoy and I'm interested in greyhounds, so I would just put greyhounds down as a topic. Another broad interest would be music or history, and from there you would just narrow it down to specific genres or time periods. You don't have to be an expert in the subject. Maybe it's just a topic you want to research further. Or you can also do autobio comics, illustrations, essays, or poetry, just sharing specific or general experiences or musings. Step 2 is just an extension of the brainstorming stage. We are going to combine ideas. So we're going to look through our list of ideas and topics and see if we can combine them to create something we hadn't considered before, but might actually end up be interesting. So for example, if you like fashion and plants, then you can consider making a flora decorative pattern zine, or a history of flora inspired fashion, or an advocacy or informational zine about environmentally sustainable fashion or textiles. So we'll actually aim for about 10 combos. So if you like, you can even draw lines and circles in your list to associate them with each other. Pretty much anything really goes. And now that step 1 and step 2 is done, you may refer to this list once in a while as you start new zines to see if anything jumps out at you. Alright, so now that this list is done, and I'm sure you have your own version, it's good to review this once in a while and definitely add to it if you have any new ideas along the way. You can also, when you're making a zine, combine more than one subject matter, so it doesn't have to be a zine about just one thing. It can be a variety zine. But as we mentioned earlier, for our next check-in, we're gonna take one of these ideas or any new idea you have, and we are going to turn it into an 8-pager zine. And as I promised, here are some of the 8-pager zines that I have in the archive, and I'll just go through a few with you. As you can see, I have a lot. These are actually really relatively easy and quick to put together, so it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. This one is actually a collab by 3 different people, and it's so cute. So it's, as you can see, it's just one page, so you could do this with friends. This zine is actually by yours truly. So a couple of years ago, I was working at a bubble tea shop, and so I made a zine about life working at a bubble tea shop, but like in a humorous way. So I'm just gonna flip through some so that you can see sort of the variety here. This is by Miss Lynn Scurfield, and it's so cute. It's thoughts of Lynn, and she's lying on the floor and she's just like, no. It's so cute. So yeah, so we are going to be creating this type of zine, and so yeah, so start brainstorming and start kind of drafting it so that by the time we're ready to actually make this zine, you're ready to go. This is printed on craft paper, and I really like the effect of that. This is by Stasha Share and Jella Jade, and it's how to be a good roommate. So for all you people with roommates, you need this. yeah, so hopefully that gives you a good idea of the kind of zines we're going to be making. Kasha, how are you doing? I haven't talked to you in a long time. This is by Kasha. Kasha has such beautiful work. You should definitely check out her social media. So it looks like that. I love her style. And it's just one color too, so you could do it in one color, you could do it in two color. I'm gonna be making maybe a 2 to 3 color one-pager zine. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. As we discussed earlier, please comment in the comment section below one zine fair or convention that you are interested in attending or even tabling at this year. And also, please pick a subject matter from your list or elsewhere to turn into an 8-pager zine, and we're going to work on that in our next check-in, so please start drafting, editing, and sketching out that zine. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and leave that comment in the comment section below, and I will see you again next time.